Daifu, are you here?
I'm here.
Khan, are you here?
I'm here.
Samuel, are you here?
I'm here.
And Z, are you here?
I'm here.
Alrighty. So, when you're ready, Daifu, go ahead and describe what exactly has happened to the tall tidesmen and how they have found themselves out of the darkness, but into the forest.
Alright, so we were in a little fish-like village. There were some of my notes are confusing. Okay. I think there were some Kuatoa churches, and they were under command of the false hero of Grease Peak, or yeah. We found out that Miss Lunera was an elderly woman who told the fishermen that she wished to turn into a tree in the Opal Island, or something similar to that. And we were in their little village when the hero guy came to the gates and asked to be let in. And we got all the fish people to help fight him with us. And we unleashed his
I turned
true
it off by
form.
accident.
And he summoned some
I closed it by
I think he was a
accident.
baboon. He summoned these face things that were very hideous, and we killed all of those. But then he summoned Nightwalker Pain and Punishment, or that Nightwalker just appeared, or like jumped from the ceiling into the town, and we could all tell it was going to be one of those days. So our captain just banished the creature, and we celebrated, giving the Kuatoa light and fake terrain. And then we exited to find the surface, and we found a mirror that gave each of us visions of ourselves altered. Captain Tall Tide was, I think he had barnacles on him, and he had a gold trident. Then Barvor had like a more animalistic reflection with large tusks. Daifu looked more like a Wendigo. Did anyone else go through?
I looked at it.
Adelaide looked like her younger self, so she looked like better than the rest of us. And
Otto looked at it too.
yeah, Arthur looked like a tiefling of sorts, or more like a devil.
Yeah.
I think he had a horn. And the Tall Tide cracked the mirror with a punch a little bit, and we were on our way. We got lost a little bit, but eventually we found a little portal that required a riddle to enter. I think the answer to the riddle was the unknown or something. And it teleported the ferry to above the clouds before we got the ferry back. And we continued outward of this cave. We flew up out of the cave. We started walking towards the village. On the way we had a bunch of discussions about what we would do. And the first thing we did was explore the house of the hero of Grease Peak. And we found a little wardrobe in his house that led to what seemed to be Wishbone. After Doc got the guard to find a cat so we could get in and out, we then headed to the town itself. And I think that's where we ended the session.
Yeah, I believe believe you guys were heading back to Grease Peak.
I think we were in the House of Worship.
I
Yeah.
think you guys eventually made it through, yeah. And
There's a Yanti priest guy.
Kenny
Pure
just
blood, I think.
reincarnated the kid.
Yep.
Yeah, we went to
Yeah.
Fulbert's House of Worship.
Oh, not reincarnated, revivified.
Oh yeah, that'd be funny if you reincarnated.
We also
Due to the
we
gentle repose.
also stopped at Tyrock's house,
Mm-hmm.
and we got a map of the prison because we went to
Correct.
speak to Crow, but because we were to like let him know like we were leaving and everything, because we debated that, right? Whether or not we should
Yeah.
tell him was
Yeah, there was a bit of deliberation on whether you should just leave or whether you should let him know. But I think ultimately he decided that he was going to be staying anyway. And, well, T-Rock said that. And he gave you the map as Crow was sleeping when you guys had come. And let me see if I can find the map for you. Here you go. So, just so you have a means to plan should you like. And on the map, if you recall, there was just lock it here. There was some spots highlighted. Yeah, highlighted where the entrance to the prison was, which I believe was right here.
Oh, hey, Raph. Yeah, I told you. As I
Yeah,
said, the
ultimately,
DM had a
you guys
get a
had
pet
done a
replacement.
couple things inside of Grease Peak and ended up at Fulbert's House of Worship, which is not necessarily a church. It's more like someone's house that has been turned into a church. So it's missing a lot of amenities, but there are idols in here, and some space was cleared for you to produce the child that the hero had pushed down into the Underdark earlier, and
What was his name
met
again?
its untimely doom.
The hero's name?
Oh, it was Verdun.
Veridin.
Yeah,
Okay.
Verdun. And obviously Verdun ended up being the Babao transformed in disguise, essentially. But give me a second here. We left off with the ritual being complete and a breath of life coming into the chest of this child. And it's a young kid, probably about 8 years old.
Do we
is
know
a
the kid's
male.
name?
I don't believe you do.
no, it just came back. So
Yeah, and so as you guys are were watching
I think we
this,
found a journal with his name in it.
You might have.
We found his journal. I don't know if we had a name.
Oh, you did. Yeah.
I thought I had a name in it.
Yeah,
I
give
don't
me a
think I
second
wrote it
here.
down. But it might not.
But for if it matters to anybody, I am in the form of Veridin. I did walk in the town like this.
Yes, it does. Okay. Let me grab this real quick. Where is my? Let's just this then. Right. So as the life is once more produced from this child, and you see their chest kind of rise and fall as they slowly begin to open their eyes, and you had laid them out on for the shrine, Khan, and everyone had been kind of circling the Yanti priestess as she did this.
I think Khan was the one who doing the ritual.
Yeah, Khan was the
Yeah, I
one doing it.
casted it all myself.
Oh, you did the revivify. Okay, you just need the nice area for it. Sweet. All right.
Well, I
And,
brought it here because this is a church of the.
It
They
is a
don't care
church of
about
Tyr.
worship.
Or
They
Torm.
don't care if I
Was
worship
it Torm?
Tyr.
Oh, Tyr. That's
Torm.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Torm.
Torm,
No,
yeah,
I'm
it was
sorry,
Torm. I was right.
It is Torm.
they're both justice gods.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they start
they
with
also,
T?
yeah, they're also hand in hand. Like they're
Yeah.
they're brothers basically. So, but
One's
yes,
missing a
this is
hand.
A
It's
church.
funny.
Yeah,
I think
this
I
is
think
the
technically
church
I
of the
think
Skull
Torm
Gods.
is the successor to Tyr.
Yes, yeah,
I think Tyr was Torm's idol. I think in like official
yeah.
canon.
He's like his
Not like
yeah,
not
he's like his
Devon
daddy.
canon, but official
Yeah,
canon.
yeah. And also Ilmater is kind of one the third brother.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's the aside the point.
And then I think eventually Tyr died, and then Bahamut took over.
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast lore.
Yep. But as you finish casting your spell, Khan, the child awakes. There's kind of a moment of reprieve where everyone's just kind of silent, looking at one another. He's looking at everyone else, and not a word is said. And suddenly, the silence is broken.
So, well,
This child's stomach grumbles.
well, I was gonna be for added effect. I was gonna be kneeling and holding the child's hand, just because I'm playing the part. I'm trying to play the part of Eridan as the guy
For
who.
the purpose of this, for the ritual, Khan, finished the ritual, and at this point, you can reach down, grab his hand. He'll look at you. He'll look a little confused for a second, and then look at Khan. Did it work?
Actually, look over to
to
Barvor and be like, Barvor, don't turn that off. That's who killed him.
oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
And he looks at you, Barvor. Did it work?
Did what work, child?
What do you mean? Did it work? Is everyone saved?
We found you dead. Who did this to you?
What do you mean? I'm not dead. He
You
kills
were.
himself.
It appears there was a. Appears there was
You led
a
me.
demon. There was a demon who took my form, and led you astray while I was away.
What? He scratches his head.
He led you into the cave
I'm
and
also scratching.
pushed you into that pit.
No, you pushed me. You said it was necessary.
No, that was not me. That was a demon.
Roll a deception check. At disadvantage.
Okay. Alright, let me find my page.
For the purpose of this, since you found his journal, we'll just call him. His name will be Vingeg. Vingeg Stern Theory.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna use my inspiration for this. Make it a normal roll.
Alrighty.
17.
So none of it was true.
No, I'm afraid
I
not.
didn't save everyone.
I'm afraid not.
Tears start to well in his eyes.
I'll hug him. I'm so sorry. I should have been there.
But you were there.
It wasn't me. It was a deceiver. We slew him. But it was all a plan to find somebody. But it wasn't you.
All those knights in your house, they were all a demon?
I'm afraid so.
And the toys,
No.
are those real?
Not all of them.
Who are they? And he starts like looking at Khan, who's been finishing up his ritual and has been also kind of like holding the child up.
Oh yes,
who
these
are
are my
these?
friends. They helped me slay the demon that took over my identity. They're the tall tidesmen. And the one who revived you here, who brought you back, his name is Khan.
I died.
Yes, and I'm sorry that you had to experience that.
I remember you pushing me, and there was a rush of wind, and then nothing.
Believe me, if I wish I could have been there to stop it.
I don't really know how you couldn't have, but if I'm not dead, where are we?
We're in town. We're in someplace safe.
I was always safe.
We're in Cripple Creek.
This is Cripple Creek.
Actually, I think you guys are in Grease Peak.
Grease Peak.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, is that we're in Grease Peak.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, we're in
Grease
Grease Peak.
Yeah.
This is... Come on, Khan, get
That
it
was on-
together.
That was on me. I put the thing on Cripple Creek instead. So, we're back home?
Not in a place we were living. That place is compromised.
So, you're all not demons?
No. We're not.
I'm really confused. So, So, everyone still is in danger then?
I'm afraid there's more than just everyone. It's concerns
What did-
concerns
Go ahead.
this world.
We're gonna say
What did Verdin, the other Verdin, promise?
He looks at Barvor and then looks to the ground. He said I was special. That I was going to unite everyone. That everyone was in pain, and if I could just follow him and do what he needed me to do, I could stop all the pain from everyone. He called me
Anathema?
something. Yeah, that.
That you would have been if you had survived the fall.
But I did. I'm right here.
No.
That makes me the next anathema.
No. You had to survive the impact, which you didn't. We found your broken body at the bottom.
What? He looks at his arms. His tears start to well up again and he begins to cry. I don't want to be
Trying hold the
broken.
child. You not gonna like pick him up. You're fine, boy.
But you're fine now. That's what's important.
And all that matters is you're back at Grease Peak. Make sure you're safe and have. You don't have a family, right?
No, and I don't have a home either. Veridin's house was my home.
And that place is not safe for you. Not anymore.
And Veridin here will be leaving.
Yes.
You don't have to
I
worry
must
about
find
him
I must find the identity of the person who put that demon up to it.
We'll find you somebody to take care of you.
Are there still demons in the house?
Possibly. But right now, we didn't. When we were there, we did not find any. But there might
You
be
shudder
some who
slightly,
return.
and the priest that was also next to you shudders slightly.
I pat him on the head. Don't worry. No demon will harm this town again.
Yeah, we'll see to that.
Con,
I tried to see to that.
No, that person lied to you. Nothing good comes out of being the anathema.
Con,
He's
It
silent.
was all a trick. Yes.
can you and the father go take the boy to get some food in his stomach?
I'm tired and I'm hungry.
Let me ask this. Sorry, kid. If you don't mind me asking you one question before you go get some grub.
You look scary.
Oh, that's just
Yeah.
That's just Sam. Samuel, our captain.
Hi,
Did you-
Captain.
Hey, kid. Do you remember anything in between after you died and before you came back?
I don't remember anything. I remember falling after being pushed by. He looks at Barvor in the back of the ground. And then there was darkness. And then I woke up.
Okay. Con, whenever you're finished, if you want to take him to get some food.
Sure. We'll bring him, take some food. I'll carry the kid out of the room. But
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. You carry the kid out of the Fulbert's house of worship out into the street. And
Wait for the
for the
priest to leave the room.
purposes. Okay. For the purposes
I
of
will
this,
also
we'll call it.
make my helmet is removed because I've been wearing it the whole
Gotcha.
time in town, but I have removed it when I revived him.
Gotcha. Con, go ahead and real quick roll a charisma check really fast.
Ooh.
What dice am I using?
You take your helmet off and you set the kid down, and as you're putting your helmet to the side of you, the helmet starts to vibrate slightly, and in your head you hear, "I do believe you have diverted this poor child's fate. A second chance."
Yes. He deserves a second chance. I'll say in my head,
Judge.
not out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, you say it in your head, and you get a response. "A worthy judge." The kid now looks around. "So where we going to eat?"
We're going to Fish's Last Drink.
I like that place. They have really good fried fish sticks.
Yeah, they're not my favorite, but my dad likes the place, so I guess we'll go there.
How is it having a dad?
Oh,
As you continue walking.
sorry, I misspoke. He died.
Oh. Mine died too.
Same here.
I don't know if you're there. Just let you follow me out.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, I do believe. Well, I do believe it was just Khan currently, but
Yeah, I think it was just
Um,
me.
Oh, okay.
yeah. But I do believe you are all currently in the church, and we'll get to you guys in just a second. But yeah, Khan, you're walking down the road, leading this kid to the Fish's Last Drink, and you start to talk about the lack of your parents and the lack of his parents, and you kind of begin to see how everything began to fall into place, and it's eerily similar. And as you're walking down the road, your party members that are still inside of Fulbert's house of worship, you fall witness to the Yuan Ti priestess from before, kind of taking a solemn moment to themselves and then looking at you all. That was quite divine. You all are, oh, go ahead.
Would you give us a moment of privacy?
Of course, but I will warn you. There is no such thing as true privacy in a house of worship.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
she smiles and walks into another room.
Barvel,
Yes.
what is this plan with the imagery of Veridon?
What? I can't hear you.
What is this plan with the imagery of Veridon?
I don't know. I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I wanted to give the child a comforting sight when he woke up.
I don't think you
Comforting sight
succeeded in that.
of the person who murdered him?
Well, I told him it was. I told the truth, though.
The
But-
truth? What do you mean? The person who murdered him was the person who walked him there, was Veridon.
No, it was a demon taking his under his guise.
The
But-
person
That was
was Veridon. Veridon has always been that demon.
No, he wasn't. Remember the book?
Adelaide is right. I think because
I thought
well,
we read somewhere that he was assigned to kill that guy and take
No.
his place.
Yes, that's what he
he
did.
was assigned to take the appearance of Veridon. However, Veridon has been here since Khan's father left, and this we have that scroll, and there's two other faces between these two images that look like Khan's father and Ouroboros. Those
The
two,
face-
I think these were others tasked with this duty before.
The Veridon that was in that book might have once been a different person, but the Veridon that has always lived in this village has been sacrificing children in that cave since they've been here.
No, yeah, I know this. What I was saying is, I think multiple demons have taken the visage of the appearance of Veridon since Khan's father had left had left Gracepeak. So there was never really a good Veridon. He
I'm
was just
agreeing with
multiple demons.
you.
Yeah, I think you might, Barvel, you might want to drop the Veridon
Like,
disguise.
or Boris may have been contracted to appear as Veridon now, but that might have been because the previous demon had failed at something and had been slain. So now Ouroboros had to take over.
I can't exactly drop this form in here. It'd be suspicious.
I mean, we can potentially try to give the village a good
It's
image
also-
of Veridon leaving, but Veridon never really was good. He was taking these orphan children and pushing them down in that cave.
It
Did you
also
not see
kind-
all the other bones and remains down there? This isn't just some recent occurrence. He's been doing this for a long time.
We also discussed about how we would get the village to believe us that this Veridon did this, and this kind of feels counterintuitive to how we were going to make that happen.
Yes, I agree.
And respectfully, this is certainly not how we do things in this group. If we have plans we're going to put into action, we definitely go through talking to each other first and final say of the captain at least. Put us in a tight spot for the plan we once had, and an even more awkward spot for this poor child.
Well, Good investigate plans. Oh. And this is out of character, but I did have a plan, but I forgot it in the 2 week set since like I actually had like this whole thing planned out, but now it's like I forgot, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants at this point.
Why you should plan notes ahead of time.
Yeah, I took notes, but apparently not at this
Sometimes
point.
D&D's about all in the moment, you know.
Yeah,
Not really.
yeah. I was just trying
Not
to
really, you know.
spur of the moment
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I will say improv is kind of part of the game, so
Yeah. You're good.
and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
This was a mixed result. I had good
But
intentions.
regardless,
I tried to at least help the child, but I failed at that part. I never said I was perfect, but
no. Yeah. At this point in time, though, you all currently reside in Fulbert's House of Worship, and, well, is there anything else that you would like to do as the numerous scolded god idols surround you?
Can I search around for anything like? Cause I'm a little suspicious of this town now. So, can I search around the area, see if I don't think Arthur would really know, but any signs of like a cult, like evil cult maybe, or something like that? Like he's put in a front.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
21. Actually, 22, because reliable talent. So.
Alright. You begin to kind of like look around through the different idols and looking through different religious iconography and the incense that they have. It smells different for each of the different gods, and generally this place seems pretty holy. You're not sure if it's, consecrated or whatnot, but it does seem like there's an aura of. It seems like there's an aura of respect here. There doesn't seem to be anything necessarily cult-like here, but that could be debatable depending on your view of religion in general.
Yeah. And yeah, every time Arthur has prayed, it hasn't worked out. So he's still.
Let's see. I'll say all of the idols are pretty pristine and well kept.
Okay.
You go to one of the windows on the first floor, and you just barely notice that there's it looks like 3 claw marks on the inside of the window, as if like a cat almost just like tried to claw its way out and left scratch marks, and that's it. You're not sure what it means. You're not sure what it really could be, but it just gives you a little irk. You're like, that's different. Everything else seems pretty pristine and well kept. And even this window with the scratches on it, it's been cleaned.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
That's about it.
Okay.
As you're walking around, the Yuan-Ti priestess comes by once more. I unfortunately will have to see you all out unless you're going to be praying to an idol or if you need further assistance. We don't have a lot of space in here, unfortunately.
Understood.
no, that's fine. We're about to leave anyway.
Well, is there anything at all that I or we can do?
I don't know. Is there anything that you find folks need?
That I can think of.
I'll lean towards Z and Captain. Do we want to ask them to... Is Veridan's ground consecrated?
It's unconsecrated, or whatever that.
Desecrated.
Desecrated, that's it.
Do we want to send him that way and start consecrating it?
I- it's a good idea, but we might want to discuss it with Khan,
Yeah.
or he may want to do it himself. If he can, I don't know if he can.
Okay. Nothing right now, then.
Well then, in that case, please take this as a parting gift. And she reaches in her pocket and pulls out like a green block of incense. Only worth maybe a couple copper. Passes it over to you.
Thank you. I'll pocket them, give them over to later.
There's always going to be another dawn, adventurers. Lathander guide you. And then points you to the end.
Yes, Lavender, yep.
Lathander.
Lathander, good old Light Lord.
Good fella.
You guys find yourselves back into the streets of Grease Peak. And, well, Khan is nowhere to be found.
Where do you think Khan went off to?
It's probably gonna have to search around.
Z,
Did
where do
he
you
mention?
think he'd go for food?
He did mention that he was going to go get food.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
he
you,
mentioned
you would
it.
probably know.
I would know
You would
that.
probably know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause-
Yeah.
He's probably at the fish's last string. That's where his father liked.
Okay, well, I guess that's where we're going.
Alright.
And as we're making this journey, this trip, I'm going to find an alleyway or someplace I could just like scoot away for a second and revert to my original form.
Easy enough. The form of Veridan departs from your party for just a moment and goes into an alleyway where an alley cat scurries and climbs up to the top of a roof and runs away as you form yourself back into your normal Barvor self and rejoin your party members as yourself.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again. Now without asking more questions about it.
Alright.
Sorry about that. I really did want to try and help.
It's okay.
No problem.
We just
I
have to talk about
just
things
can't
more.
stand to see kids getting hurt.
Yeah.
With this, you lead your party member Z to the fish's last drink.
Yeah,
Alright.
I will.
I don't believe you guys have ever visited the fish's last drink, right?
We did.
In the past.
It's the-
you...
Oh, no,
Okay.
when we first came into
I think
town,
we
we did.
passed it.
Okay, cool.
No, we went inside.
Oh, did we?
I believe so.
I know. Yeah.
Because I made sure I wore my helmet the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, so you continue onwards to the fish's last drink. Khan, you're the first to arrive there, and previously, so I didn't give you the full lore of the tavern last time.
No. I don't. Yeah, I think we went in because I had the barkeeper as a dwarf, right?
Yeah, the barkeeper at the time was a dwarf.
Oh.
The reason why it's called the fish's last drink though is well, for a reason. The sign has first off a fish in a tankard, and it is obviously the fish's last drink. It won't be surviving very long in the alcohol. But when you enter, it is not the dwarf from earlier behind the counter. This time it is actually the main owner of the tavern, who seems to be some sort of a plasmoid. And
Halfway.
yeah, and in their head, you can see that through their translucence, there's a little goldfish swimming around.
That's cool.
He kind of waves at you. Welcome, welcome. You hear it in your head.
Well,
Surprise for a moment. I'll nod. Thank you.
The child, Vingeg, pulls on a portion of your male greaves. Fish sticks.
Yeah. I'll kind of pat him on the back and scooch him forward towards the bar. Get to the bar, and I'll kind of pick him up by his scruff of his shirt, place him on the stool.
The bartender kind of looks down. Too young to serve, but looks famished.
He is. He deserves a big meal. Large plate of fish sticks. And some kind of child-appropriate drink.
We have breakfast beer available. We'll give it over to him. You would know, Khan. This individual, his name is Gulp.
And thank you, Gold.
Do I know you?
Maybe a long time ago.
You seem familiar. He goes back and starts getting some of the fish sticks and throws them into a vat of oil to fry them as he prepares a low alcohol content brew, just to because they don't really get a lot of clean water over here at Grease Peak due to the sludgery. But they do have beer, and the low alcohol content beer goes to a lot of the residents. With enough time, maybe about 5-10 minutes, a fresh plate of about 20 fish sticks gets served to this child, and 2 brews accompany it.
I get 6 hard drinks as well, lined up on the bars.
Sure. Are we looking for grain alcohol, or you're just looking for something like this and just a little strong?
Whatever's strong. Actually, make it 7.
He nods.
As he leaves, I'll prepare to get the coin ready.
Yeah. He begins to kind of stack tankards along the counter and produces what looks like some sort of malt whiskey, but it's got this weird purplish tinge, and puts it down on the counter.
Line them up on the bar. I'll put 2 drinks in one spot, and the rest I'll just put single drinks lined up. And I'll just sit here and let the kid eat his food, and I'll wait.
Yeah, the second it's served, he kind of like looks at you expectantly. Can I eat it?
Yeah, dig in.
You say dig in, and he literally digs in. Fistfuls of fish sticks just going straight into his mouth, and he looks like he was pretty hungry. You also gather, Khan, he definitely has some forms of exhaustion on him, and some rest would do him well. But eventually, as you're setting up these drinks and watching Vingeg partake in this fish stick feast, in walks the rest of the Tall Tidesmen, headed by Z. As the door opens once more, and you're all greeted by this strange sight of this plasmoid with this goldfish swimming around in its head. And this purple alcohol that seems to have been produced, strangely, with enough cups for all of you.
Hey, Khan.
Welcome, adventurers. Take a seat.
Hey there, Khan. I see you brought the kid over here. Wow, he's starving. It looks like he's hasn't eaten a meal in quite some time.
Yeah, I think I might have bought him too many fish sticks.
I think he's a grown boy. He'll eat them all.
As you say, "Hey, Khan," a voice appears in your head, Khan. Khan, as in Conway.
Yeah.
No other response.
So, Khan, what kind of drink we got here?
Well, 2 lined up for you, Captain.
Oh.
And there's 1 there for the rest of you.
Oh, much obliged.
Thank you.
You guys take a seat at the bar, and you pop open the corks on one of these bottles and take a whiff, and it smells pretty strong, but it's more like a higher alcohol content wine, and like a higher alcohol content whiskey, but it smells like a little bit like berries. So there's definitely some sort of a fruit in there, but from the color, I feel like you would know.
Drinks. So there's 1 there for Daifu anyway, but I don't know if in character Daifu drinks.
Mine.
Smells like something old Granny used to drink.
As I approach the bar, as soon as I get to the bar, I'll just down one of them, see what it tastes like.
I say that as I sample it.
Yeah, you sample it, and it tastes. Well, first off, obviously, it's got the alcohol burn, but it doesn't taste fruity. In fact, it tastes like straight whiskey. However, there's a little bit of that bread yeasty tinge that gives off Caggards for some reason. And there's an aftertaste of what seems to be like elderberry. And it's good.
It's
You take
similar,
another
but
sip, you down it all.
it's not quite the same.
Ooh, that's good though.
Oh, it does have a
Ah.
nice burn though.
And you can also see when he talks, Samuel's tongue is blue. Almost like he slurped an icy.
Your
You take
tongue
another
changed
look.
color.
You said you downed just your tankard, Samuel, or you're downing the entire bottle?
Well, I have a bottle for myself, right? I got 2 bottles for myself, or is that just
I
the
believe
2
there
tankers
was-
for myself?
I ordered
There was
double
enough.
drinks for 1 person and then single drink for everybody else.
Okay,
Double
sweet,
drink.
yeah. Alright, so yeah, you downed one of your tankards, and effectively one of these bottles fills about 2 tankards, and he gave you enough for all of it, so as you're pouring in your other drink, Samuel, you already finished your first one, you empty this bottle into your second tankard, and out plops a fish. Dead, but it's just floating in your tankard now.
Is that normal, bartender?
Yeah, that's normal. Don't
What do you
worry,
get-
don't worry, ain't gonna hurt you.
Well, what do
Extra
you get
protein.
this stuff?
Well, I think we get it imported, usually from Wishbone, but from these days it comes straight from Wakeley.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Huh. That explains why it tastes similar to Granny's stuff.
Z, roll an Arcana check.
11.
Not necessarily in relation to the alcohol. However, there's something just really weird about this guy. Like, almost like the plasmoid's not talking, and the fish is talking.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was the case.
Say, where do you come from? You come from Wakerly too, or?
Eh? No, way down south.
Ooh.
Lane of Thieves.
Oh, okay, me too.
Oh,
Yeah,
What part?
yeah. All over, Yeah, mainly, mostly Lane of Thieves, a little bit of the Domino Largus, but mostly the Lane of Thieves.
Hmm,
Just sailing about,
I
doing
see. A bit of
non-
a vagabond.
Oh yeah, I'd say wandering on the open waters is for me. And you ever come across any pirates?
Oh, plenty. But I normally resided on an island out there.
Oh,
I'm sure you've passed it.
what island?
It was called. It was just called the Grove.
I knew it.
Imperial
I knew it.
Crab Grove. You should check it out sometime. Next time you're in that area. It's
think I
right
will.
down south of Sans Serif.
South of Sans Serif. All right. What did you say your name was?
Oh, I'm Gulp.
Samuel's like kind of friendly demeanor just completely drops. Well, where'd you get that name?
It was given to me.
Because of like just from your parents, or?
No. There was an old. He was I believe he was some sort of a Triton man, much like yourself, actually.
Did he make you feel lucky sometimes?
Well, I felt pretty lucky when I was awakened. I owe it to him, actually.
So you know Captain Lucky.
Who?
You know what? Forget it. Gulp.
Oh,
I'll put a
all right.
gold on the counter. Have one for yourself.
Eh, thanks.
Also, what do I owe you for the drinks?
Right. For each of these, it'll be about 5 silver a bottle, and I gave you about 4 bottles. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4 bottles. So, let's call it 2 gold.
I'll put 4 gold.
It is a pleasure serving you. Say, you're from around here, yeah, Con?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in quite a while. I vaguely remember your face, but you were much smaller back then and didn't have all this gear on you.
Yeah.
Where was the boy that was with you?
I'll just like look at him. I insight check him?
Yeah, roll public insight check.
Insight check on a fish. Yeah, I'll use my inspiration.
Okay. $16. It doesn't seem like he necessarily has malicious intentions. It seems like he's really playing the role of a bartender, and a good one. He gets information, and he sells information.
He's gone.
Hmm.
Yeah. Found a new home.
Well, it's better than some get. A new home is better than death.
I agree. But no, he's got a home.
Well, that's good. That's good. I remember vaguely
We're gonna find this
there
one too.
being- Oh, right, right. And this old lad, I swear I've seen this boy somewhere. You know where that Veridin fellow went? Yeah, I saw you.
Yeah. He's dead.
Dead? Oh, quite a shame. That was a mighty hero.
This is all in the head, right?
Yep, all in your head.
Oh. I don't know. The whole town will learn about Veridin. He was no hero. Maybe one day somebody named Veridin was, but not the one here.
Interesting. Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Did I actually hear that too? Because he asked everybody.
The responses only he can hear. Though he did ask the question to everyone.
I don't say anything. I just like as I'm drinking, it's just like do like a momentary jump, like a little shift, and almost choke on my drink. But otherwise, I don't say anything.
He doesn't seem to put any notice to you.
Who's
Well then.
who would you say is the highest up in town? Government official wise, I know. Whoever which
Alright. Well, we don't necessarily have a lot of, government officials out here up north, but, as of recent, Veridin was pretty charismatic in getting a lot of the, people to his causes. However, when it wasn't Veridin, I do believe the sludgery and the owners of it sort of own the town. I mean, they bring a lot of economy into this town, the sludgery. But, Triumvirate needs oil. There's only one place to get it.
Thank you for the information.
You know,
I'll
it's,
slide over another gold.
if you're looking for them, they won't be at the sludgery as he takes your gold. They'll be at the Grease Peak Mining Company.
Oh, that's odd. Oh, I kind of pat the kid on the head. Are you full?
He looks like he's like slightly falling off the chair and he's like dozing off into sleep. Full. I'm full.
That must be a good feeling, especially after after what happened.
What happened?
That you were hungry.
I
Yeah.
am hungry. Not anymore though. Wow. Hey, thanks, mister. Well, what was your name?
He's talking to you, I think Barvor, right?
He's talking to you.
Oh,
Sorry, he's talking to Barvor and Yukon.
Oh, Barvor. Barvor Lee, at your service.
Thanks, mister. And what about you furry man?
I'm Khan.
Fine. Thanks, Khan. I'm Vingate. Stern Fury. I don't really know where I got that last name, though. I think Veridon had given it to me at one point.
What was the last name? Storm Fury?
Stern Fury. Like
Well.
the stern of a ship.
It's up to you if you wanna, it's your name. It could be whatever. It could be whatever you want it to be.
Really?
You like it? Yeah. You like that name? That's yours.
I really like fish sticks.
Do you want your name to be Fish Sticks?
Maybe his nickname should be Fish Sticks.
Can my name be Fish Sticks?
It could be a
Sure,
nickname.
we'll call you Fish Sticks.
I
Yeah.
love it. I want my name to be Fish Sticks from now on. I'm no longer Vingate.
Sure.
Alright, yeah.
He nods and starts dozing off to sleep again, and occasionally he's like, you see his head struggling to stay up.
As he kind of falls asleep, he'll realize it's a bad name eventually.
Yeah, maybe when he gets older.
Leaving you all in this tavern.
Stern Fury, though. Would I know anything about that name?
I don't feel like anyone would, but go ahead and, for the purpose of this, go ahead and just roll a history check.
Given I'm a bit of a historian. Oh, 11.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's a nautical name, but past that, you've not really seen it before.
Interesting name. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's a reason why he was selected.
You guys also, by the way, seem to be pretty much the only ones in this tavern, aside from the barkeep and Fish Sticks, who now seems to be slightly snoring.
Gotta carry him. I think we should try to go see Tyrock and Crow, maybe? Or Crow?
Well,
Might
yeah,
sound
but-
weird. But I think I'm gonna ask him to take care of this child.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah, right? Gives him a reason to stay in town.
But ugh,
And if they need a bigger place of residence, one just opened up.
It's
True,
desecrated or
but-
whatever.
Yeah,
We're
we need
gonna
to get that
Ask you
place sanctified.
about getting the local church to go and consecrate it.
Yeah, consecrate.
oh,
Probably not a bad
Everyone's
idea. It
ready
takes
to
a-
have that big conversation about what Veridon really was.
Yeah. Oh.
The
back
bartender
to
starts
Crow.
to lean in slightly and starts to rub the counter with the washcloth.
You'll
back
get
to
the
Crow
news
being a
eventually.
responsible parent, though. Well,
Yeah, I agree. We don't know, but his
his partner.
let's
Tyra.
actually have this conversation outside.
Yeah, that's true.
Is there any rooms I can get you all?
No, thank you, Gulp. It was nice seeing you again, though.
A pleasure indeed.
Uh,
Safe travels, Conway.
There might be some commotion in town in a little bit, so if you want the news, the gossip, that's where it'll be.
He nods. At this point, you see the plasmoid takes the fish out of his head, puts it in a cup of water, and walks outside.
I didn't mean that in a little bit, maybe an hour or so. We use as we also walk outside.
Still in your head, you hear, he is not very intelligent. He'll wait. You walk outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I also, if they are worried about, as we now leave, they are worried about financial problems taking the child, I will offer them support. Also, I didn't want to say anything in there because, Gulp's kind of a gossip. I don't
Bartenders tend to
worry
be.
about that. Crow is here.
Oh, that's true.
You make your leave from the fish's last drink and enter out into the open air once more. You're kind of loitering around one of these buildings, and there's a few passerbys doing their daily business, or nightly business rather. We'll call it, actually no, I think it's morning actually, by the time you guys got here. So we'll call it, dawn when you had risen, fish sticks. So we'll call it 7 a.m. currently. You guys are kind of loitering around one of these buildings, and what is next for the Tall Tidesman? As you hold this sleeping child in your arms, Khan.
I'll prestidigitate all like the grease and stuff off of the kid's hands and stuff. Clean them up.
What about the church? Also,
Oddly,
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
you're good. I didn't know. Oh, yeah. I was letting you finish if you were saying something.
No, you're good.
What was that, Adelaide?
what about leaving the kid with the church as well?
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. Really, I love Storm, but as a child of a church-dwelling individual, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility and rules. So I was just kind of like,
Discipline comes to mind.
yeah, a lot of discipline.
Yeah, I know all
And
about
the
parental.
church, depending on sort of where you are, you can kind of get lost in the shuffle, and kind of don't get the attention you need sometimes, depending on what church you're at. But that was my second option, if we couldn't find him a loving gay couple.
Yeah, pressure to follow in your parents' footsteps is quite a thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
Crow isn't
And
the most
Sorry.
brave, but he seems a decent person, so.
yeah, and Tyrock has a business, and that takes commitment and dedication.
Iraq definitely seems like they have the discipline of a parent.
He does. That was my first judgment. And after realizing how Crow was kind of easily influenced by us, we might need
Yeah.
that little sternness.
Also, they may say no just because
True.
we're springing the kid on them, but
And that's right, the church was the backup.
yeah.
And then if not, I have a third option, but that option is also very expensive. But I am willing to do it if needed.
What's the third option?
I buy Veridan's home, and it is in a new orphanage, and I hire people.
Oh. I'll chip
And
in with that.
I try to closely monitor it as the best of my ability so nothing happens like this again. But even the thought of kind of opening an orphanage kind of hurts my soul a little bit. Though it
I mean-
can be a good thing.
Trust me, I grew up in a shitty orphanage, so.
I ran an orphanage with my father.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It wasn't shitty, but it still wasn't. It still could have been better. And then also, of course, the sacrificing of children aspect.
Yeah, that part. At least my orphanage didn't have that, but they
Yeah,
were kind of
yeah.
left.
Well, you sure?
Well, no. I mean, technically they sacrificed us because they didn't really feed us or clothe us or anything. We just kind of survived on our own.
Maybe we gotta. What? Okay, yeah, your orphan was way worse than we sacrificed people. And that sounded worse.
Yeah.
We at least fed you and clothed you, right?
They clothed us with barely any rags. I mean, why do you
No, I
think
meant
we had to
these.
steal? Oh, yeah.
Because he was an orphanage. In
Yeah.
my orphanage.
No,
Yeah,
I
maybe I
figured
didn't
your
have a-
orphanage was. I figured your orphanage.
No, I
was
was
lot
like,
better.
I hope we treated Z better than that. I'm saying.
Oh yeah. I assume
I
he's
think we
still
at least gave
hanging
you
around.
clothes I can remember.
Yeah, in terms of quality of life, I mean, if you remove the sacrificial aspect, obviously,
Yeah.
there was definitely a level of comfort. You had clean clothes with no holes in them. You had food. You had water. And for you, Arthur, it's debatable whether it was actually considered an orphanage because
Yeah.
it's like the clothes that they gave you was more just like tattered bags
Yep.
that had holes cut out in them, and
Yep.
it was up to the children to kind of make clothes
Yeah.
out of them. They gave you food, but it was usually had bits of mold in it.
Yep.
It was usually stale.
Why do you think
and a lot
I
of the
grew up a
times?
thief?
It's hard, not life.
Yeah.
Or you.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Wait,
in
wait,
the-
wait a minute, Khan.
Literally
Your
together in
orphanage
life, I ju-
sacrifice people?
Oh man. Are you not?
Yeah, Barbara, we're gonna have a
following?
conversation in a couple minutes.
Okay, yeah, I need to know more about this. This is crazy shit that's going on.
Oh, wait till Sam tells you some stories.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess we should play get to know each other and
we
when we're
should.
done.
But let's try to drop this child off first. Have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
conversation.
Let's not. In
And
case the
then
child is
we'll
listening.
go have a side conversation, and then we'll inform the town of the demons and fiends that have been lying to them for almost 30 years.
How are we going to do that?
We'll figure it out. I don't know if it was 30 years, but it was a long period of time.
It's been probably how old
We
is
don't
he?
even really know.
Well, I was as long as we know how long my dad did it. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, we don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
if
yeah.
it's been longer than him, but based on that scroll,
That
it could
was-
have been very long.
how long ago was
It,
dad?
it has
was at least
been very
more than 10?
very long.
Because he was like 4 back on that scroll, and there's more before him.
No, I'll just whisper to Khan, like, sorry about the Veritan thing. I really tried to help, but didn't think things over.
Don't worry. We'll have a conversation.
Whoops.
Okay. So where would you like
but
to head
get it back
next?
to. We'll continue that way, and as we walk away. But Arthur, we could
Yep.
still also do option 3, if that's something you want to do.
I mean,
But
honestly,
we should probably wait until it's not desecrated.
no, we should definitely undesecrate it. But honestly, I think I mentioned this before. My end goal, I guess, if I have one, I guess, to get enough money to make an actual nice orphanage somewhere. So.
Yeah, why don't we have like a chain of orphanages?
But what I don't get is why did no one question an orphanage in Grease Peak? Who's coming here for a child?
Well, that's another thing is if
Well,
Han does have to resort Plan C of opening another orphanage here, I say we avoid it.
They were
Seems just think drawing that exact idea here.
That's what I was saying. That kind of leaves like a bad feeling in my gut, you know?
If we
That you feel like doing that opens up the possibility
Okay.
of more awful things happening.
let's
But in the
discuss this
future,
later.
when I wipe out a bunch of demons, maybe.
if we don't want to leave the kid with the church or start up another orphanage here because of the taste it leaves in our mouths, I know we discussed at one point going to my county after we help Arthur's friends.
Oh yeah.
If we come back this way, we can get the kid, and I know for a fact there's plenty of loving families there would want more than anything in the world to have a happy and healthy little boy.
That's like Plan D then.
Sounds like a good plan, dude.
Maybe move it up from Plan
Plan
D to
C.
Plan C, then reignite.
Well-
Where are you from originally, Adelaide?
Let's focus on Plan A first before we.
Also,
Makes
I'm pretty sure how did it become letters? Pretty sure he started as numbers.
Oh, did I make it letters? Sorry.
Pretty sure I think Adelaide made it letters.
I don't think I made this. Also,
I don't know if I'm gonna believe the chick with memory problem.
No,
outside
I
of
think it may have been me.
I think it was.
Because I think Adelaide just said if the church plan falls through, then. And then I made it an alternate plan.
I
C.
quoted someone saying Plan C. Also, I'm from outside of
it-
Holly.
Okay. So I want to know where all these nice families were when I grew up.
I'm from the Waking Realm.
Okay. I haven't heard much difference about Waking Realm, but I guess it's where you're from, I guess. Man. Missed opportunities.
Well, to be fair, probably better that you weren't at my orphanage. 'Cause you might have been sacrificed.
No.
You might have been Z.
I might have been stuck as a child. Oh my god.
How old are you, Arthur?
I am. I gotta look that up like quick. I am 26.
Let
You're-
me check my age real quick.
Wait, how old are you?
You're older than me, which means you probably would have been dead had you been at our orphanage.
I mean, I was more talking about like being raised in the Waking Realm, well, apparently all these loving families are.
Oh,
No,
oh,
yeah, no, but I was saying,
the
I was saying more. It's better that you were probably your place though, with the bad conditions, than ours, because you might have been sacrificed.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, we also were technically sacrificed to the whims of anyone.
Yeah.
Not, I'm just
You were
saying, not, in my orphan.
sacrificed to the streets of Sans Serif.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, me and my friends were the lucky
Hey,
ones, and
streets made
some of
you.
them were in prison.
Yo,
That's
you're from the
also-
streets.
Yeah.
You
That's
grew up
also
on the
better than
street.
death.
Yeah. You
Man,
wear
you
that on your
guys-
chest.
Man, you guys had some bad childhoods.
My county.
Yeah,
was more
I don't think
lovingly
anyone becomes an adventurer with a nice backstory.
Right? Why does
my,
all our life suck?
my parents
Alright,
did.
I mean, my
Yeah,
life was
but
pretty
you still have
good.
a
and-
depressing backstory.
My parents were adventurers though without one.
Hey, you know
Cookie
what? I did
shampoo,
hear once
Garen.
there was like these twins. They weren't twins, they were like
Yeah.
cousins. And they just wanted to be adventurers, you know?
I don't believe it. I don't believe
They
it
just
at
wanted to
all.
hunt monsters. That was it.
I mean,
Nope, nope. There's no way you willingly do this shit.
I just heard this. I don't know who they were, but it was just like, oh, we're legendary.
Well, that legend is false.
my parents are fighters.
You're lying to me.
A small halfling pushing a cart with a mule, like, looks like gets a little too close to you, Samuel, and runs over your toe with the cart. Oh, apologies there, Sonny. Apologies. And keeps going.
Can I insight check him to see if he stole anything from me?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll an insight check.
Can I insight because I suspect the same thing?
Sure, it'll be the final insight check.
Do you want me to send it to you or public?
You can make it public.
19.
20. Dirty 20.
You both scan this halfling man in his straw hat, his piece of straw wheat sticking out of his mouth, his empty cart, his mule, the way that this cart slammed onto your foot. Nothing was stolen. In fact, you're in the middle of the road.
Yeah, why are we standing in the middle
Hey
of the
guys,
road?
let's find somewhere to stand and talk besides the middle of the road.
Yeah, we're
man.
blocking
Well,
traffic
I
there.
thought we were like talking and
we're
walking,
walking
you know?
We need to
I'm getting roughed
Yeah,
up
you
here.
right.
are walking. You
Just
are
need to
walking, but he just moved
Yeah, yeah.
past you. You know what I mean?
Kind of, hey, watch out.
You're kind of just
Start
aimlessly
tapping.
walking around.
Didn't you see the stop sign, guys? God.
It is
thinking I
maybe
might
paid,
kill that
I'm
guy.
sorry.
Oh, Jesus, God.
Samuel.
What do you say?
What? What's up?
You never
One
find
of
back.
the snakes on your arm lashes out at the other one.
Stop. Yeah. So, ow, fuck! Stop fighting each other. So let's just keep heading this way.
Yeah.
You continue taking a walk.
How far is it to Tyrock?
Oh, okay. That's sweet. So you're heading over
That's
to
where
the
we were,
stacks.
that's where we were going. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'd missed that. My fault. Yeah. So by this time, you guys have pretty much passed the Splendorous Engagement Jewels and the local town armory, which is in the center of town. You would know that because there's not really a guard presence here, anytime that the local militia needs to be militarized and communalized, they all come to the center of town, where every resident capable of manning arms gets their weapon. Right now, it seems like the local armory is just locked up. There seems to be a big old orc there, just sitting on the steps, snoozing. You guys pass by him, all the way to the Stacks Smithing Co. And you're only about 2 minutes at this point away. Should there be any quick conversation, but the Stacks Smithing Co. could definitely be seen in the distance, and you can definitely see smoke coming from it.
Like good smoke or bad smoke?
From this distance, you can definitely tell that it is decent smoke. It is okay because it is coming from the forge.
I'll make sure it's not on fire.
Yeah, it's intentional smoke.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That would make Plan A -1 no longer exist.
Eventually, you come upon the Stacks Smithing Co. And they're manning the anvil there. Seems to be T-Rock. And it seems like Crow is also there, seemingly reading out a story to T-Rock as he works. He drops the book upon your arrival. Ah! Captain!
What's up, kid?
Or not, Captain?
Oh, what's up,
Is
kid?
everything alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
How is everyone?
You know, Crow.
Pretty good. Thanks for
Ah.
asking.
We're doing fine. How did we? Anything happen while we were gone?
I've been pretty much bored out of my mind and talking T-Rock's ear off. And T-Rock just like hits the axe that he's working on with the hammer, wipes his sweat, and just gives you an eye. He won't be quiet. Keeps hammering. So, what brings you to the Stacks? And what is that? And points at the kid on your shoulder.
Well, I think we're here. We're here for 2 conversations, right?
No, just one at the moment, I think.
Well, 'cause I don't think we ever had the other one.
Well, we kind of had it with T-Rock.
I mean,
I
the
thought you
decision
just
was
handed
kind of
him the
made,
map.
but
Yeah, that was a conversation.
Um, so Crow, T-Rock, what are your plans?
Plans for
Yeah,
future?
yeah, the future now. Now you have had time to discuss.
You see Crow kind of like shuts his book. I do believe a life of adventure is not quite in our future. Maybe in the far, far future. And Tirak goes, I do believe adventure is not in our future quite yet.
What?
I think
if-
we're going to settle down for a while.
Yeah, settling down sounds great. What if we offer you a different form of adventure?
There's
Won't be
kind of
joining
a
us on
silence
the
for a
open
second. Crow looks a little bit excited, and T-Rock is a little bit inquisitive as he stops his hammering, wipes his sweat, and wipes his hands off on his cloth.
Well, this child needs a home.
T-Rock goes, no, and Crow goes, oh yeah, I told you, it was coming.
Huh?
T-Rock, do you know of the town hero Varidan?
I do.
Well,
He was quite the hero.
was not a hero, and he was a child-killing demon or fiend or devil.
Looks at Crow.
Who we killed. And this was one of his victims.
T-Rock is beginning to put all the pieces into place and slowly begins to pinch his brow. And Crow is like, that is adventure. I am so down.
I think
T-Rock
Yeah.
is shaking his
I think
head.
he was a demon
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
because he wrote an abyssal, like that scroll.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot this. Yeah, and if you, T-Rock, are worried about any kind of financial strain this will put on you or you business, I will offer you 300 gold to help pay for this child's life.
You see Crow kind of like raises his eyes towards T-Rock, and T-Rock still has his eyes shut and was scrunching up his face and pinching his brow. But you see his face slowly begins to drop, and he opens his eyes and looks at you.
That wasn't me offering to pay you to take a child. That was me offering to financially support a child. It came off weird.
And also on the plus side, you might have an apprentice on your hands to help you with the work.
True. Might be good for business. But he just needs
At this
a
point-
loving home with parents.
At this point in time, Con, go ahead and roll a persuasion check. At advantage, you are being assisted.
This is me and convincing Devin to do anything.
Yeah. This is the third cat conversation that Devin hears once a week.
Yep.
Devin, let's adopt the little orphan boy.
20.
With the financial strain, one of the concerns of T-Rock kind of pushed to the side. He begins to understand, and his humanity begins to come into play. And he looks at this kid. What the fuck is his name?
Currently, fish sticks.
Yeah, he decided on that because he had a whole bunch of fist sticks and yeah.
I think originally
He's
Big Dead,
slowly...
Bidgen,
Bingden?
Storm Fury?
Stern Fury.
been gagging.
He slowly turns his eyes over to Crow. And Crow kind of like stifles a laugh. Fish sticks. All right. I do believe we can turn fish sticks into one of the finest smiths in the north. Wake him up. Come on. Let's see what he has to say for himself.
Okay. Kind of pat him on the head a little bit.
Stop it, Verdin. I'm tired.
Oh.
No. Airden's gone, remember. I'm Khan.
Uh,
No, you're groggy, but
Oh,
I need you
yeah.
to wake up.
hey, Fuzzy Con.
Hello, fish sticks.
Wait. Huh? Oh, yeah. What's up?
Well, you need to be awake for a conversation that we need to have. These fine individuals right here.
Okay. Who are they?
This is Tira
Fathers. Kirok
and
and
Murkrow. And they want to adopt you.
parents?
Yes. Remember how you said you didn't have a dad?
Yeah, I didn't
Wow.
have any.
Wow, now you have
You know
two.
I don't have a dad?
Yeah, you told me you didn't have one either.
Well, now you got two to make up for both of our dads being gone.
His eyes widened. Two dads?
And I'm giving them money so you can have fish sticks whenever you want. I look at both
Put me
of them.
Put me down. I want to live here.
I'll put him down.
He put him down. He runs over and he looks at T-Rock and stares up at him. T-Rock just begrudgingly looks down at him. Hey, they're fish sticks. And Crow goes over and picks up the kid. Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. The kid's happy, Crow's happy, and T-Rock's just kind of like begrudgingly happy. Yeah. Alright. I think we can work with this.
And fish sticks. Some
Yeah.
stuff's gonna happen in town in a little bit, and I'm gonna have a conversation with a lot of people. You don't need to be there,
Alright.
but I just wanted to have this conversation with you and tell you the truth. That we don't know who the real Veridin was. The Veridin that was here, that told you all that stuff, that was bad. He was a bad person.
He was a
not a
demon.
He was a demon.
Mhm,
So I just
mhm.
want you to, I don't want you to be mistaken. I don't want you to be lied to. I want you to know everything that I know.
Thanks, Fuzzy Con. I already feel like I was lied to, but I think you guys have been pretty truthful so far.
Yeah. Well, that being said, that demon Veridin, he did lie to you. You deserve better. You deserve a real life with these people.
Hey, Fuzzy Con.
Every time you say Fuzzy Con, I think, was it Fuzzy Lumpkins from fucking Powerpuff Girls in my head? Yeah.
How do I know you're not a demon?
I don't have an actual way to answer that for you. Besides the fact that
I mean,
I'm
you
here to
have
do
holy
good.
abilities. You use holy abilities. I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
demons
but
can do
anybody
that.
can lie about that.
I mean,
Yeah, but
I
he,
saw
he
you.
doesn't know what that looks like,
Oh, yeah, true.
you know? Because Veridin had abilities when lying about.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes you can just tell, and sometimes you can't, and it's okay to be wrong.
He squints at you.
I'm gonna take out one of the other holy symbols of Torm that we got from Underdark,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and if you can't tell, just hold on to this really tight, and hopefully you'll get the answer.
Alright.
But
I looked at you real hard and I don't think you're a demon.
yeah, I don't think I'm a demon either.
Alright, I'll take your little metal thing. This is a cool looking toy.
And that's just, when you hold that, just think of the name Torm.
And
Or
I'll
It's a friend of mine.
prestidigitate. I'll prestidigitate and make it extra shiny.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I clean it up for you. Make it nice and shiny for you.
Is Torm a demon?
No, he's a god.
No, Torm, he's the opposite. He's who sends me to get rid of demons.
Tirok looks down at the kid, finally talking to him in a non-begrudging way. A scolded one, but no demon. And Crow looks at him. Yeah, but you already know, scolded ones are like, not all bad.
Yeah, it still boggles my mind how a god of justice can be scolded.
I'm sure someday someone will figure it out.
We'll make it right. But as long as you know that
Just
he's there
be
to get rid
careful.
of demons.
Be careful of some people when you flash that around.
I'm gonna be careful of every person, because I don't know if every person's a demon.
Just keep that in your pocket. Like I said, whenever you need
Dad,
it, grab it real
are
tight.
you a demon? Tirok just shakes his head.
I'll tell you, I'll
Looks-
prove to you he's not a demon right now. I'll divine intervention, and I'll kind of flavor it as I'll grab my holy symbol. I'll kind of hold it out, and I'll hold it in both my hands, and it'll glow.
He like looks at you do this, takes his and closes his eyes and mimics you exactly. Did you get the sense that they were demons, Fuzzy Khan?
Either of them demons, undead, or
They are not. There are no fae, fiend, undead, or any of the sort. And there's no
No.
desecrated or consecrated ground.
they're just good dads.
Alright. I got the same feeling from my toy. You guys are safe. You got any fish sticks?
Just 8.
Gab, I'm hungry.
Well, you should probably maybe go to sleep again. I think.
Okay.
You gotta
Crow's,
get your
like,
strength back.
nodding. Come on. I'll show you. We got a little room and it's extra spare. We'll make it nice and we'll pretty it up for you. Come on. All right. He like begins walking and turns around and gives one last look at the tall tidesman. Thanks, friends.
Take a coin and I'll give it to Tyrok, the more responsible one. Tyrok, more responsible one.
Mhm.
As he kind of walks in with him as well.
Good luck,
if he does
fish
walk
stick.
in. If not, if he's at the forge, I'll just give it over there.
Yeah, no, he was still at the forge. You pass it over to him as Crow leads fish sticks into his residence, and Tirok looks at the money. He
Give the
nods.
fish sticks.
Yep, he waves you all goodbye, says goodbye, friends, and Tirok counts the money, he nods and looks at you. I'm not gonna use this money on fish sticks, but I will make sure that it goes to him when he's of age.
Yeah, you don't even need to do that, really. Honestly, just use it to keep a house over his head and food in his stomach. You know, a warm fire.
He'll have all of that, regardless of if there's money coming in or not.
Yeah, and if not, he'll have you guys.
Exactly. Well, I do appreciate you all visiting. Next time you visit, though, don't bring a kid and don't bring problems. Just bring yourselves.
I can't tell you how much I do appreciate this, though.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate getting Crow here and not leaving him out on that island.
Yeah. It was against our captain here. Definitely we all thought better. That we don't think he was probably suited for the sea.
I don't believe he would have survived very long. That lad only knows how to run It runs well.
We got the same vibe. Thank you
But
again.
he's got love, and that's what matters.
Yes.
Right then, are you all staying in town any longer? I know you told old Fish Sticks over there that there was about to be an event happening. Should I be on the lookout?
Well, I just would like to inform the town of what happened, what's been happening. And I think the
Well.
more people who are aware of it, you know, it'll make it harder for it to happen again, hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, do what you need to do. And I will say, be wary of the sludgery and the nobles that own it. They're really the only ones I could see having a problem with demons, I guess. Those nobles. It feels like they would just make a deal with anything.
Huh. I kind of look at the group. Maybe we'll have a conversation with them first.
Yeah.
I know Veridon was keeping them in line, so...
Okay. I think we should get going then.
Well,
Ah,
like I said,
see you around.
next time I see you, make sure you just bring yourselves. No problems. Hey,
Yeah, and we'll
Smiles.
bring hopefully some good news with us next time.
And maybe stay for some tea or something next time.
I think some of us would like. I don't know if everybody drinks tea.
I'd appreciate it.
Well, we got alcohol as well.
That's more Captain's flavor.
Alright then. I'll let you all go. He picks up his hammer once more and starts banging on the axe that he was working on before realizing he needs to reheat. And
I'll
puts it
prestidigitate to
into the
reheat it.
Yeah, you reheat it slightly, but to the point where it needs to get red hot glowing. You definitely help the process slightly. But he leaves it in the forge for a little bit, and then continues hammering. Leaving you all outside of the Stack Smithing Company. Without a child this time. Where would
Yeah.
you like to go next?
I have a good feeling about these guys.
Yeah, me too. Well, I think either we should go have a conversation about our somewhere private, have a conversation, I guess. But this is the second time somebody's brought up the sludge people, and
You
a
think-
thought does come to my head that maybe this has been going on for so long, and they have been almost kind of partially own the town, I guess, and have the money maybe because they did make some form of deal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if maybe Veridon and air quotes Veridon had some kind of ongoing deal where they supply kids or something.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking even past Veridon.
Oh, you mean that other guy we fought?
Nope. Well, I'm saying even one.
Oh,
Let's go have a conversation somewhere
yeah,
private.
yes.
So, you make your leave from the Stack Smith & Co. Are you just going to try and find a nice little private alleyway, or are you going to try to find somewhere else?
I guess an alleyway.
Okay. Yeah, you move away from the Stack Smithing Company for a little bit, and in between it and the town armory, there's kind of a few open fields and some garden areas.
Actually,
there's
an
also
alleyway pretty close to his business, because maybe the sound
Oh,
of the
yeah.
forge will keep people from hearing it.
Yeah, awesome. So still hearing the ringing in the distance to
Yeah.
kind of stifle some of your conversation. You're not far away at all. You're a couple blocks down, and you can still hear the ringing of the anvil as
Hey,
you
Levy.
gather around for conversation.
Can you just scope out the area real quick, make sure there's no prying ears or eyes?
Sure thing. I think the only ones are us. And then goes up, flying up. She's gone for about a minute or so, and comes down. Looks clear. There's a bunch of old people doing a bunch of old people things, but no one really around to hear anything.
Okay, I think we're in the all clear. I don't think anybody close enough to listen in.
I'll give a little divine sense as well, even though I just did it pretty
Yeah.
close by.
Yeah, you do a divine sense, and you don't get the tinge of any fey, fiend, or undead. Levies then will say, unless you count like the alley cats. There's like one that scurried earlier. That one's up on the roof, but that's about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would assume does his pixie ping as fey for me though?
Actually, yeah. It would.
Because it's familiar regardless, right? And most familiars are just fey.
It is, yeah. Yep.
I mean, I guess
It
you
is
could
fey.
you'd have ones that are not like imps and stuff as well, but even if it was like
Right.
one that turned into an animal, fey.
Yeah. No, it would definitely give a tinge of fey. Probably not as strong as other fey that you've
Yeah,
encountered, but it does
to
give
know,
a
though.
little hint there.
It's good to know in case I ever need to find it when it's invisible or something.
Yeah.
Well, as long as those cats are just cats and nothing else.
Yeah, I didn't get any senses from anything. Well, yeah, I think we should. Kind of another more place. I think we should go to the sludgery. What's that oil mine? I guess.
The sludgery, and it's where they process oil.
Kind of maybe check out that family.
I mean, it's kind of fitting that people dealing with sludge are greasy.
And then, yeah, Larvor, I am Conway. Call me Con. We've met now. But my father lived in this town beforehand with me and my brother Z here. And as I grew up, and some things that happened, I had found out he was doing what Veridin was doing before Veridin.
Oh.
He was slayed by the thing that we killed in that cave that was disguised as Veridin. And on his death, when he was dying, he told me what he did. Told me about some awful sacrifices he did to children. And until one night, he heard Torm's voice back in his head and stopped him from sacrificing Z. Z was one of the attempted sacrifices. And I wasn't mad that you were disguised as Veridin or anything. I don't lie to kids. One of my rules.
Yeah, I was just trying to ease his discomfort, but, you know.
I understand. But I don't lie to him.
Noted.
But yeah, that's kind of the fucked up backstory of this town. My father used to murder children here for some unknown being who may or may not have some form of relation here to adopted brother. That's why it's kind of a little sensitive.
Quite the rabbit hole we're traversing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably not even the craziest thing coming from our group too.
I'm sure we'll find much more wild things.
That thing that murdered Dad also murdered our pirate captain before this captain. I point to Sam.
Oh.
Because me and Z went on the run for a little bit as pirates.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of being hunted by this thing that was disguised as Veridin as well.
And that kind of explains why he wasn't always following us. He had to come
Yeah,
back
he
here.
was here. Yeah, that's a good thought.
So, and, probably
But
while he
this-
was out patrolling us is when he was taking children.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Don kind of tenses up as he thinks about it as well. But this also brings me back to the thought: if this has been happening for a while, maybe it's because some deal was made in the past about this town.
Yeah. I mean, in the middle of nowhere, people probably don't really question things often out here.
Yeah, there's no real law here. There's a kind of a scattered sort of religion, so good place to target.
Has easy access to the Underdark.
Maybe that's how these guys are
Yeah,
able
just
to
learn.
maintain a stranglehold on the city.
Yeah.
When you were out and we stayed back before, we had discussed the scroll with the pictures. It had Orbis and it had Father's photo.
Yeah.
There's two others between. I floated the idea that they may have been disguised as Veridin, because we had heard that Veridin kind of appeared almost immediately after we had left, right? Like not long after.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So yeah, I think once they realized your father had stopped doing their work, they found somebody who came in disguise as Veridin, and they may have failed, and they just kept up the disguise. That's why I don't think Veridin has been a good character ever, or at least not in this
Then-
area. of time.
But then what about the other? Do we think the other two people? How many characters were there? There was Veridin, my
Was it-
dad.
There was about, I think I said there was about 30 or 40.
Oh, faces in that book.
There's people way before him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it was Veridin's right next to my dad though.
No, there's
There was two people that separate them.
So who do we? What do we
Wait.
think those two people that separate them? Then
So wait, was it Veridin or was it Orbis's face that was on?
It was Veridin's face.
Oh yeah, never mind. So then my theory doesn't check out.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
yeah.
No.
I don't know where these other two people would have. They might not be here then. There could be potentially other locations like this.
Did we show everybody in the group these photos?
I don't believe you have.
Arthur, these two people look like the person that ran your orphanage.
Arthur, you look at the photos.
Yeah.
Doesn't look well. First off, go ahead and roll investigation.
Okay.
Maybe other should look at other remote places like Wishbone.
Oh, or
Oh yeah.
are these, or also maybe these two people that are just in this town, maybe?
28 for investigation.
28. You don't recognize the one of the people, but the one that was before Veridin kind of looks like a figure that you yourself are looking.
Huh?
Cybele.
Who?
Dominicus Cybele.
Oh, the guy who runs the fortress.
His face is in the book? Oh,
And he's
Demon?
between Veridin and your father, so he's probably
he's close by, right?
he runs the prison, right? That's all.
Yeah, he
so
runs
maybe
the
yeah,
prison.
so maybe these
So
are just
he
people
used
who
to-
were working for them. Or was this guy all of them? I don't know. I'm confused now.
There's just
It looks.
just
It
some plot
appears
picker
that.
they-
Yeah,
Very
it
big.
appears that this is a list of individuals that were doing this quest of
Okay.
sacrificial children. However, it seems like some people didn't necessarily die. They might have just been relieved of their position by someone else.
But so I guess if we see people with these faces that are in the book, they're either one. So, a couple things. They either one could be a demon, or a fiend, or whatever. Two, they are working for one, or used to work for one, or what? Yeah, right. Are those the options?
Or 3,
Yeah.
they are actual people and they have demons posing as duplicates of. Because again, Veridan may
4.
have been a real person.
Well, if anybody's disguised, I have a way to see through that disguise.
Yeah, so do I. If it's magical, of course.
Well,
Yeah, and I can just sense demons.
I have true sight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like, and that seems to be really, if everyone were to view these photos, that seems to be the only one that would be recognizable, would be to you, Arthur, and it would be, one vaguely resembles Dominicus Cybold, and it's the one that is right before Varen. So it seems like if you were to chronologically think about it, it seems like Veridan is the one. Whether or not he's actually Veridan or not is debatable, but that Veridan is the one that relieved Dominicus Cybold of this mission.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, are these places where these people are stationed near entrances to the Underdark, where they could just drop children into a pit?
Well, it might not be always a pit thing. Maybe it could also just be them surviving some kind of tragic thing.
I think it's more of a test than a.
I don't remember a pit in our orphanage. And my dad did everything in the basement.
Yeah, Con, you would know. This is pretty assuredly. It's definitely the sacrifice, quote unquote, is more of a test, like Arthur said. It's
Yeah,
if you
it's more
survive the
surviving
sacrifice. Yeah, if you survive the sacrifice, then you're the chosen one. And that's why they're hunting all these kids, is because they are killing them to find the ones that survive. Because if you survive, you're the next anathema.
They run your prison. They have lots of subjects.
But
I think it has to be a
they have to
child.
be a child, or very young looking.
But again, if you were to think about it chronologically, Dominicus Cybold technically, if it's only one person doing it, would be relieved of position. That being said, if all of these people on the list are doing it, that means Dominicus Cybold is sacrificing
Or
children.
somebody who disguised
Or
as
someone who
yeah.
looks like him.
Either way, it's some form of connection to the plot.
Correct.
Also,
Yeah.
didn't Arthur's friends get captured when they still technically were children?
Were you children when you got captured?
No, they were adults.
No, they're
No, I
adults.
think you guys were adults.
Yeah, it was like a year ago.
Just they got they were out of the orphanage. They were
Yeah.
Oh,
grown
I
up.
thought you started and committed it when you all were still in the orphanage.
No, we were adults.
That'd be really sick though. Just children thieves.
They were thieves back then. They just
Well, I
they
mean, like,
actually
yeah, but
were.
pulling off like a big heist like that.
Like the Apple Dumpling
Yeah.
Gang.
Yeah.
Break into that prison. Yeah, we were adults.
Well, so let's bring me a quick question. Do I know what being from this town, do I know, did the sludgery people own this town still back then? And 2, do I know what they
So-
look like?
Yeah, so there was never really a name for who owned the. When I say that the sludgery owns the town, it's
Well,
it's
I know,
not
yeah, I
official,
understand. They just
right.
But they just probably have
It's
the most
like,
money because they're the biggest.
Yeah, they have the
business.
most money. They attract the
Yeah.
most of the people.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
like the
yeah.
flow of economy for Grease Peak.
Yep.
So they quote unquote own the town, right?
If they wanted
the
to actually own it,
nobles-
they probably could.
They exactly right. They could probably pull legal loopholes to actually own it if they really wanted to. That being said, you never really got names or the name of a group of people that owned it. It was always just quote the nobles.
Okay.
Because Grease Peak is up north, where it's out in the boonies. There's not really a lot going on, so there's not really a lot of nobles. Everyone there kind of works their own and is very self-sufficient for the most part. So nobles are very far and few between. Where there are some, they're probably together and then probably not in public. Unless you were to count Veridon, of course.
So, do we want to find these nobles? What's our plan now?
I mean, we're gonna tell the nobles about Varadin, right?
Well, I think
Or-
I want to see if the nobles are doing business with
with whoever
whatever giving
contract
people in this
Varadin.
town. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, if they are not, tell them.
And how do we go about getting them to tell us?
If they are,
Yeah.
that's what that guy's for. And I point at Arthur.
Alright.
He goes, or somebody else could go in there and do some stupid in the name of justice.
I mean, we also have a bunch of nobles in the group who might just be able to let in.
Yeah, sure.
But if we don't, yes, you got me.
Your plan 1B. Sorry,
Okay.
2B. 2B. I said that wrong.
You're
2B.
using letters.
I just said letter and
using
number. 2B. 2.B.
You started letters.
Or not.
But
For what?
no, I got nothing.
You don't know. It just,
When we are ready, I can send us there
Where?
to Hog's Feet.
We're going to Hogsmeade?
Yeah, why are we going to Hogsmeade now?
Is that where the prison was, or is it in Yellowtick?
It's
was in
it's outside of
Yellowtick.
Yellowtick.
Ah, the Yellowtick.
Can you, like,
Send us there.
teleport us there?
We just need a large enough tree.
There were plenty of trees by Yellowtick. I mean, not
Oh,
as much
dude.
as, not as much anymore since Khan went full smite on a few trees, but
So we did see a bunch of trees over there.
Yeah, you did.
Well, but with the nobles, I don't think are in Yellowtick though.
no.
No, it's the nobles of Grease Peak here. That's where we want to speak with them.
When we are ready to storm the prison, just give the word.
Alright. Daifu's in. Sweet.
So where are we going to the prison?
Oh yeah, I guess you don't know about that either.
Oh, who we busting out?
My good friends.
We'll
Are they good friends or good friends? I put quotes.
I don't know what the quotations mean, but they're good friends. I grew up with them. Well, two
Oh,
of them.
okay, so they're friends. Okay. Because sometimes people say they're friends in a sarcastic and lighthearted way to indicate that they're actually enemies.
Oh, the farthest thing from that.
Okay.
Except one's a loudmouth, but he's still pretty cool.
Okay. I feel a little bit better about doing this then.
I want to break into a prison to kill someone. It's like they're already in prison. I might want to kill Dominicus.
We're doing the prison break in the name of justice.
Yes, I actually kind of agree with that.
Yeah, if they're unjustly
now,
imprisoned, yes, and I'm all for it.
now, yes. Also now, if this person might be working for a demon at one point, we have to investigate in the name of justice.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Do you want me to disguise myself as Veridin?
I don't know if they were working together.
Well, we would have to find out. Well, we don't know.
Oh yeah, we'll have to know if he's actual guy doing the
we would have
sacrifices.
to find out. Yeah, because we also could have been the guy who was also Veridin, also could have been disguised as the guy at the prison.
Yeah.
So like that would be awkward.
Yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to, throw it by you before doing it.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea though. If we can find out how they were connected, and if it's not, and if he hasn't gotten word that we killed Veridin.
Yeah, that's another reason why I wanted to ask.
But you being able to change forms will definitely help though.
Technically, I can too now.
Can you?
Yeah, that is true. You can.
I pull out this hat of disguise. I had to attune to it, but I can change myself up too. No, it's not really my kind of thing. Mine's more sneaking around. So if someone else wants this,
well, you can be sneaky and disguised.
Yeah, but I don't think a guard sneaking around is really
Well, it could be more so you're sneaking around, you have the hat on, and if you start to get caught, disguise.
True.
Hiding
I'm
in
just
plain
not really
sight.
good at
That's your plan to be.
Okay, I'm just not really good at the deception part. I'm more
Lion
the
part,
sneaky.
yeah.
Hey.
What? I just said I was agreeing with you.
Does
Okay.
anyone else want to introduce themselves?
Tell about the awful things they might have done in the past.
I just stole a lot of shit growing up, so that's like the worst I did.
Yeah, I mean, I already introduced myself, the Anathema.
Yeah.
They're all still looking for.
I've more or less introduced myself. I'm an archaeologist by trade. I run a place up in Wakerley with my brothers and the secretary. What the hell she's doing, by the way? Anyway, and then if you look at Levy over here, she kind of resembles Lemira is her name, and I guess the pact I made with my patron kind of gave me. Was it a pixie? Is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Pixie, and
a
that resembles
sprite.
her. I guess as a
Right.
sort of humor, he looked into my mind, and I guess he chose the most appealing form.
Your packed person isn't Malargus, right?
No, it's
Uh,
not sure
Yeah,
who
because-
it is. I mean, it kind of when we kind of made that deal, he was shrouded, but his hands did feel cold and very gaunt. So maybe very thin guy. I don't know. I didn't feel any. Would I be able to tell, like, when I shook his hand to make the pact, would like his true nature show itself, or is it like?
Nah, it was definitely purposely shrouded. But I will say you felt strength when you shook their hand.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I felt like his hands were very thin, but I don't know if they were actually, his true nature of this patron. I guess at the moment I wouldn't know.
Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention about myself. Khan will not let me pray anymore because some creature or evil goddess talks to me every time I do.
yeah, that's rule number 2 is if you see him praying, you stop him.
So is it
Yep.
that guy, the father of that Nightwalker?
I
Keep
think
my
we're
phone.
under the impression that it's either Mask
Yeah.
or somebody disguising as Mask.
Yep.
I can never remember the second god. It was Mask and somebody else.
Sirik.
Yeah, Sirik. It's
Oh.
one of those two.
Yep.
Or
I
both
don't know
of
what.
them.
And they caught me on fire last time too.
But yeah,
All I did was flip them off.
my patron gotta hold me through that, the pendant I have. And I gotta find these crystals. Hopefully, we'll find some more soon. But if I start searching around places, that's probably what I'm looking for. And you already saw what the first crystal had. But
Taylor, are you talking?
but
I guess not. Okay.
My mother called me, so I'm on the phone with her.
Oh.
Hold on.
God, I thought you were talking and just were muted. That's my fault.
But my childhood was pretty fine. My parents are both alive.
Incredible.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's like.
my dad is a cleric, war
I kind of
cleric,
know what that's like.
and my mother is a fighter of sorts. She's got a nickname. She never told me why she got it. Well, kinda did, but never went into detail. I have to ask her one day.
It's a nickname.
Rakshasa.
Last year.
What a cool name.
Yeah, she told me she went down south for a pilgrimage, and when she ended up fighting some guys and got the nickname that way.
Do I know what that name means?
You can roll an Arcana check.
Oh, that's not. I have +4 somehow. Natural one.
Funnily enough, that's how my parents met.
You're not sure what the hell a rock. Well, what?
Your mom's nickname is Mashasha.
Rakshasa. No, it's because one of the reasons why is like the way she fought, and also because her real name is similar sounding. Rakasha is her name.
Alright.
I'm
Anybody else got
Daifu,
anything to share? Oh, there you go.
a forager of Ukuwasiri. Prior. Now I'm here.
Hey, Meaden. Nice to meet you.
And, is there, Adelaide, did you go or? Oh, they
Give
might
me
still be
one
on the.
second.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot you're on the phone.
Well, why don't you go, Captain?
I suppose. Originally, first memory was on the Lane of Thieves on a ship known as the Poison Maid. At the helm was a pirate captain known as Captain Lucky. And we were normal pirates at first. Some point, Lucky kind of got a little wants some power, and we all kind of followed along, at least the ones that wanted to. And to get those powers, we, started out with very simple torture. The quickest way to do it and most efficient way we found was to plant bamboo under someone.
I don't think we need this much detail.
And then, bamboo grows at least like a couple inches an hour, so. But, being pirates became easier to not go on land. And become servants of Malargus, you start throwing and sacrificing people out into the ocean and to, you know, sea creatures and such, and maybe you die a few times and go a little nuts sometimes, but you survive, and say that's my story. I'm trying to be a better person and repent for my past, and use all the stuff I've done for, I suppose, better, called heroes or whatever, but see what we can get done. And that's about most of a quick gist of my past, I suppose.
Doc's not here, but he
Yeah,
was
He's
our
pretty
first.
cool.
His family was our first attempt as a prison break.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work out so
Well-
well.
second probably.
Okay.
Yeah, second actually. The first one did fine. Sorta.
And there's
But
Adelaide.
then, yeah, then there's Adelaide. So Adelaide, if
I think my story is probably a lot less more sad than everyone else's. Up until recently, I had a very nice life with my family. My father and mother were adventurers. My father was a count, and those he saved on his adventures and had no other place to call home all moved into our county until we had a nice working machine of a small little place to call our own. I grew up there with everybody, training as my parents' firstborn, hoping to be an adventurer myself one day. My father was a fighter and my mother was a nature cleric. My mother unfortunately passed away when she tried to give birth to my younger sister. Neither of them made it. My father remarried. Now I have my stepmother and stepsister. And then on my 18th birthday, I was struck with a curse. Be what you see before you as an old woman, haggard and forever not my age. And as of more recently, we believe it might be a curse of immortality as well. To watch everything I love go before me. We're trying to find a way to undo it, where it came from. Some days I can't remember, as my age does affect my memory, unfortunately. And that's about it.
And it does seem to worsen as the months go by, and you assume, Adelaide, if this is a curse of immortality, eventually you will have forgotten your friends, you will have forgotten your family, you will have forgotten many things. But only time will tell.
Adelaide swallows hard.
But as you all stand here in the alleyway, reminiscing on each other's stories, eventually the The sun has risen to about noon at this point in time. And you have a decision of what you would like to discuss next, where you would like to go next.
Yeah. Then we can go check out the noble. And just hell the
Yeah.
town. That might cause problems. Or yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we
Either way, when it's done, we have Daifu get us back to wherever we need to fast, right, Daifu?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we speak with nobles, but I believe you were insinuating having Arthur maybe break in and look at things.
But just
Also, this map of the prison, does it actually
Yeah.
show like these trees?
No, yeah. So unfortunately, it wouldn't show trees. Think of it more like this is a sketched
Hand-drawn
layout,
map.
Okay.
a hand-drawn map. Yeah.
Daifu only needs to know a big plant.
I
Yeah.
was thinking yeah. Well, he has to have seen it himself.
Well, yeah, we could. It's much easier to see things from the air, right? He can turn into things.
Okay.
If those walls are made out of stone, I might have a way through them. See, I've been studying the way you manipulate water. It's very different from mine. And I think I have found out how I can transmute it. Or transmute stone to water.
Interesting.
Squeeze water from a rock.
So you want me to talk to the nobles while Arthur roots around behind their backs?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, depends on what kind of setup they have, of course, if that's even possible.
I mean, I'm always down to break in some rich person's place, but I mean, gotta have a reason for it. But
Well, it's yeah, you have a reason here. Would be just see if you can find anything that
yeah,
could tie them to all of this. Do we know where the nobles are?
You did get
Sludgery.
kind of a hint. Well, you
Oh,
gave the bartender a gold, and he said that the nobles own the sludgery, but if you wanted to find the nobles, they're in the Grease Peak Mining Company.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're speaking mining.
that's right. Yeah, go to the Grease Peak Mining Company.
Is that where you guys would like to head?
Yeah, guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. For the sake of brevity here, you guys continue out of this alleyway, walking past the Splendorous Engagement jewels, and it takes about 10-15 minutes, and eventually you do come across the Grease Peak Mining Company. It seems like they're moving some ore, but mainly bottles, and a lot of barrels as well. And there's a lot of this like black ichor that is just like littering the grounds around the Grease Peak Mining Company. And you gather that a lot of the crude oil kind of gets passed through here before it goes to the sludgery for processing. There's a lot of dwarves here, a lot of gnomes here, And occasionally, you see a couple creatures that none of you have seen before. I'll send a picture of what you see in our pond art chat. But they essentially look like gnomes, but every time that they step, oil secretes from their feet. And they're just leisurely going around, and they almost look like they're overseers in a way. Overseers of oil production. One of them seems to have a really thick black monocle on. He spots you all with his yellow eyes and lifts his monocle up to reveal another yellow eye. Can I help you lot? You looking for oil?
Was looking for the noble's house.
There ain't no noble's houses around here.
Oh?
Who are you?
Was this the? Is this the Grease Peak Mining Co. company?
You are at the Grease Peak Mining Company.
Well, I guess we're seeking
There's a building, but
who is in charge of, I guess, who owns this company? I guess is who we're looking for.
well, that would not be me. And I guess it's debatable whether you want to count the lads in there as the owners, or the ones that own the mountain.
I guess both? You know where both are?
I do. You got Boozumbeedo right inside in there. He's a boggle just like myself. He's the owner of Grease Peak Mining Company. And the owner of the mountain, that would be Boulder Godspeak. And boy, do those lads go at each other's throats.
The other group that knows stuff about the Godspeak, or do we know stuff about the Godspeak?
I think
other
it's
group knows
the other
stuff
group.
about
Yeah, I
this
think
guy.
actually we do know Boulder. I think we met Boulder.
Not in this group, though.
Yeah, it's the other group.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
we
Boulder.
yeah, Boulder's MIA, I think now. Last I remember.
Well, well, you don't remember correctly because you aren't that character.
No, I mean this is out of character I'm speaking in.
Right.
I guess where Boulder is.
Well, I believe Boulder is out in the ethereal heights. He spends all his days preventing the progress of the Grease Peak Mining Company. Doesn't like us mining the oil up in the mountains.
Who allows you
But
to
we get it done.
mine the oil?
Well, that would be Boozumbeedo. Says that old dwarf doesn't know what he's talking about, and that mountain hasn't been owned by anyone. It's land. No one owns land.
And also we had spoken to Veridon, his name was, and he had said he does business with somebody. Was it the Godspeak or was it the gentleman in there?
Who's asking?
We're just acquaintances of his. We were looking
Your
for a business
acquaintance?
ourselves. And he said he does good business and makes good deals with somebody who owns the oil, or either you or the Godspeak. I'm not sure which one he was referring to.
You're friends of Veridon.
Yeah. Business partners.
Roll a deception check.
Uh, $22.
alright. You seem like capable fellas. Y'all seem like folks Veridon would hang around. Alright. Watch your step. Don't step on none of my crude. I'll be mad if you track any on your way out. Let me bring you to Boozumbeedo, and you can bicker about that old dwarf Boulder Godspeak. Maybe find a way to rid him off of the ethereal heights. He begins leading you into the entrance to Grease Peak Mining Company, where he opens the door. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Alright.
As the entrance to the Grease Peak Mining Company opens up, and you see this gross, crude sludge literally just everywhere, and a conglomeration of boggles. Good old boggles. But unfortunately, I'm sorry that we had to start a little late today. Otherwise, we would have been able to get a little further. But we did get a little gameplay in, so hopefully that was it.
No, yeah.
Next week,
it was
though,
great.
I should be good. Should be good.
Ooh.
Should have all my shit in order. So,
Sounds good.
alright.
Good game, guys.
Thank y'all for playing.
Okay.
Good game, everyone.
See you later.
Yeah, I didn't
See you
really
later.
didn't really go too much into Barvor's mother, because I didn't know how much I knew about where she went, or the name of or anything about Grimble. So I just know
Yeah,
that
like-
she
yeah,
made a
like
pilgrimage, and then that's how his parents met, and that was.
That's pretty much what your character would know. That was what I was trying to get earlier. The danger of like writing in things that your character necessarily doesn't know. It should be there. It should have that backstory, but there should be a definite, clear distinction of what your character knows and what they don't know. I think you generally have it figured out. Though. I think you got it.
Yeah,
There's
it's
basically
something I will want to
surface level
ask.
information about what you have.
Something I will want to. I, as Barbara, will want to ask more about
Oh yeah,
next time I see her.
definitely. All right, Chief. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
find something.
feel better, man. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, hopefully I'll feel better by next week. Alrighty.
All right,
Peace, bro.
later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is quitting time for me too. I have an early morning tomorrow, and it's end of the stream. But I will be streaming tomorrow night about 7:30 Eastern for Phasmophobia Weekly Challenge. And yeah, so look forward to that, and I will see you all tomorrow night. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. This is your host, Hanukkah Kilt, signing out. Have a good night.